If you're in sales and you're sitting across from a prospect and you're really trying to find out what's real, their biggest fear is that you're going to sell them. Your biggest hope is they're going to tell you the truth. What this is about is helping you uncover the truth without any pressure. Once you start implementing what I'm going to teach you, it is going to give you some freedom and actually the prospect some freedom, because when the reason the prospect holds their cards close to the vest is because they're afraid you're going to sell them. And when you try to lead someone to a yes, it creates pressure, which on their end creates fear, and it will back them up. And so really this whole concept of a pendulum is going the opposite direction. It's the ultimate truth teller. It's the ultimate way to get them to get comfortable. You see, most people won't let you say something that's wrong. But when you press towards a yes, they'll feel that pressure and they will push back. It's like a psychological reaction. And so what I want to help you see today is that this model is really designed not to manipulate, not to trick, but really to find out, look, let me take the pressure off. See, it would be great if we could just tell a prospect, hey, we're not trying to sell you. We want to see if you have a need that we can meet, that you can pay for, and give you the opportunity to make a decision to do it. If you are nervous you're going to get sold, you're going to be hesitant to tell me what's really going on. And if I don't know what's really going on, I can't determine if I can help you. So there's no trick to this. This is actually an opportunity for me to say, hey, let me take the pressure away by going the opposite direction. That gives you the freedom to correct it and say, no, that's not actually true. Or to tell me the truth and say, yep, that's actually right. And so like, for example, you might say, hey, listen, you probably don't have a budget for this. And they're like, well, in their mind, they're going, I do have a budget. So I don't want to say no, because that isn't true. But I really don't know if I can share the budget. And that's okay. All I'm looking to find out is, do you have a budget? But if I ask you directly, do you have a budget? All of a sudden you're like, okay, he wants to know my budget. He wants to know my budget. And the prospect will step back or push back and be like, I don't think I can tell you that, because they've been burned so many times by salespeople that they have this hesitancy, and that hesitancy just creates kind of a gap between you and the prospect. And the way you bridge that gap is taking the pressure off. The way you take the pressure off is go the opposite direction. That's why we call it a pendulum. You see, on the pendulum, over here is a yes, over here is a no, and down here is kind of neutral. And in sales, old school sales said, push towards a yes. Get them saying yes. Get them to say yes multiple times, and it will just lead to a yes. And I would say that's not actually real. I don't know, maybe that did work at some point. It's not working today. When you push someone towards yes, you do the leading questions like, well, wouldn't you agree that blah, blah, blah? Well, they don't want to be manipulated into a sale. What they want is the freedom to tell you the truth without feeling like you're going to take advantage of it. And so the way we use for that is we just say, hey, gently, let me kind of push back the opposite way and say, hey, you probably don't have a budget for this. And if you don't, you're free to tell me no. And if you do, you're free to correct me. You don't say that back half. You just say, you probably don't have a budget. I'm guessing you probably don't have a budget. And they say, well, we do have a budget, but we're not comfortable disclosing it. No fear, no problem, no pressure. But the fact now, as the salesperson, I know they have a budget is helpful for me for staying in the game. Because if they say, no, we don't have a budget, well, I got to put in the way. I got to say, well, if you don't have a budget, let me ask you a question. How would you invest to fix this? And if they're like, well, we're just hoping you're going to give it for free, you're like, I'm out. But if they say, well, we would find the budget. In my world, I would say, well, where do you think you'd get it? Because most people don't just have hidden money sitting around. Now, if the problem's big enough, they'll find the money. Money's never the real objection. And so at the end of the day, this whole concept is really about kind of pushing back the opposite way, pushing towards that no on the pendulum, so that they have the freedom to either correct it and bring it back, push back the opposite way, or agree and say, you're right, I don't have a budget, or my timeline is not now. And once you kind of understand that, they're not feeling pressure, all of a sudden trust gets built because you're not applying sales pressure. You're not kind of coming at them with this, I got something for you and you need to figure it out because I'm going to tell you and I'm going to push and push and push and get you to sign. And so I actually teach people in our training to say, tell them there's never any pressure. We will actually go the opposite way. Think of it like this. Think about every prospect you're sitting in front of. The goal is to disqualify them, not qualify them. when you're trying to qualify, in most cases, it will feel to the prospect like you're pulling them towards you, like you're trying to lead them to your destination of a yes. What you're looking to do is actually go the opposite way and get them to confirm that they have to have what you have. Hey, you probably don't have a budget. This probably isn't the best time. You're probably not going to be able to get whatever. And you don't have to use the word probably. You just want to gently diminish. You want to gently push back. And at the end of the day, if they keep coming and say, I do have a budget, I do have a need, the time is now, all of a sudden, the last thing you're left to say is, well, what would you like to do? Like, I can help you with all of these things. Let me show you what that would look like, and then what would you like to do? And it's a process that is given a lot of freedom in sales to make you stop looking like a salesperson and really look like the truth. You're interested in, can I help you? And can you discover that I can help you without me putting any pressure on you? And that's where the difference is made.